All right, so we are going to begin our discussion with the second part of Unit 1 that essentially deals with physical layer. Now, recollecting the ISO OSI reference model that we had a discussion in my earlier video, OSI ISO model has basically 7 layers, starting with top application layer, then you have presentation layer, then you have session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. Physical layer is the lowest layer in the ISO model or OSI model. And the main functionality of physical layer is the transmission of binary bits, onto the media. You say media, or some people even would say medium. So the main learning objective of this chapter is to focus on what are the various types of transmission media. So therefore, from your examination perspective, not that important, but essentially this is primarily very important for general knowledge perspective, because being computer science professional, it is required for you to have a good knowledge with regard to what are the various types of medias that are available. So we are going to have a brief discussion with regard to media. I won't venture into more details. The details you have already studied, I believe. The various types of medias, you had a discussion already in the engineering physics, which you studied in first year, and also in electronic subjects like for example analog communications or digital communications, which you, I believe, might have studied earlier occasion. So here I will have a peripheral overview with regard to this. Okay, peripheral overview. So when I say transmission of binary bits, so the data at the physical layer is nothing but binary bits. So how to transmit the binary bits onto the communication channel, that is a challenge here, that is the understanding here. Now first, what are the different types of medias that we have? Types of medias. I'm going to show in the presentation in the next slides. Here just a brief overview. The types of media generally classified into two types. One is called guided media and the other is unguided media. Guided means direction, unguided means no direction. Essentially, this is nothing but wireless, electromagnetic medium in the wireless, electromagnetic media in the air or atmosphere. And here the communication may be in the form of, maybe you can say infrared or maybe microwave, or maybe in the form of wireless radio waves, or maybe even last satellite, either one. Now for guided, we can have like copper wires, which we generally call it as twisted pair. I'm going to show you the figures, and then we'll also talk about the characteristics of this twisted pair. Okay, or coaxial cable, or maybe in the form of fiber optic. These are different types of media which you are familiar with. I suppose you might have studied at your first year level. Okay, so that's why I don't want to focus much on this, but peripheral overview you can have, so that that will make the formality of completing the syllabus with regard to this topic also. When you transmit the bits over, for example, if I transmit the bits on wire, on copper wires, when I transmit, it will be in the form of some electrical signals. Okay, that means you are going to convert the data bits, binary bits, into signals, electrical signals, by means of some voltages. Maybe binary 1 is represented with plus 5 volt, and this is by binary 1, and with minus 5 volt you represent 0 in the form of electrical signals. So this process of conversion is generally called encoding. I'll explain a couple of encoding techniques for doing this conversion. Okay, or maybe for example on what you say fiber optic, maybe for coaxial cable also, which is a more sturdier one, more murkier one, coaxial cable, more reliable than twisted pair, the same signaling is used, or maybe different form of encoding, but same signaling concept. Same signaling concept is used. And third, if I use, for example, fiber channel, you might have studied about fiber optics. So in fiber channel, the data is encoded in the form of light waves, light pulses, is it not? That means the presence of light is maybe 1 and the absence of light is 0. So here the speed of this will be high, because the speed of light, as you know, is 3 lakhs kilometers, 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second, 3 lakhs almost kilometers per second. So light waves, you transmit the data, you encode the data, binary data 0, 1 in terms of light waves. And then finally you have wireless. So here you already know what is the approach of transmitting the data in the wireless medium, electromagnetic, in the form of electromagnetic waves, which may be like, as I said earlier slide, if you see, maybe infra, micro. I'm going to show you the different spectrum for different ranges of these electromagnetic waves. Okay, so this is the basic objective of what you call the physical layer. Okay, so let's proceed with our presentation, where we look into more of the highlights of this. Okay, let's see. So point is, the basic objective is to look into the guided transmission media, which I told, twisted pairs, coaxial cable, or fiber optics, or wireless transmission. This I already told you. Now look at this. The purpose I am showing by means of this simple diagram. The purpose of the physical layer is to transport bits, binary bits, from one machine to another machine. Each one has its own. So when I say bits, kindly remember I am referring to binary bits. All right, binary bits. Each one has its own niche, details, or characteristic attributes in terms of bandwidth. What is bandwidth? Bandwidth basically defines the speed at which you can transmit the data. Generally, bandwidth is measured in either bytes per second or maybe the bits per second. We'll define this at later point of time. Maybe if you have a vehicle, the rate at which the speed at which you are traversing on the road, that is called speed, kilometers per hour, meters per hour. So like that, bandwidth refers to the rate at which you can transmit the data over communication channel. That is called speed or data transfer rate or bandwidth. Like when you purchase a net, you say, what is the bandwidth? Bandwidth is 10 Gbps, gigabits per second, gigabytes per second, something like that. Delay. These are the various parameters that govern the different characteristic of media. How much time does it take for the data to get transported from source to destination? What is the delay offered by this? Because every media will have its own resistance, so that is a delay. Then every media will have obviously its cost and the ease of installation and maintenance. These are the parameters that define, that differentiate different types of media. So the logically, you see, this is a sender physical layer, this is a medium which is transmitting the bits in the form of encoded approach to the destination physical layer. All right. So here I was talking about, for example, look at this. One second. I was talking about encoding approach. You have to encode the data. So you might have studied on earlier occasion that there are different techniques for encoding the data, right? Different types of encoding techniques which can be applied on copper wires, twisted pair or coaxial cables, etc. So one of the very popular encoding technique which is generally used over for electrical signals is called Manchester encoding. Manchester. There are two versions, one proposed by Thomas in the Manchester University and another IEEE 802.3 for 802.3 standard. There are two ways of encoding. I'll explain this diagram, don't worry. So what is IEEE? I told you earlier. Once again, I'm reminding you. Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineering. It's an international body with an intention to propose standards. Just you might have seen ISO standards. In the commercial market, you would say our product is ISO certified. Means they lay down the standard for the purpose of quality. And if you as a manufacturer make any product which is compliant with ISO, you say my product is ISO certified. Means you are meeting some basic minimum requirement as quality. So like that, for electrical and electronic applications, engineering applications or engineering products, this body also proposed standards. So one of the standard is 802.3. This Manchester encoding is defined in that. Okay, so that is the meaning of it. You have to remember. So these are the clock pulses. You know the idea of clock. You might have studied in CO. You might have studied in several aspects, right? In several microprocessor and so on. Or I'll take a different ink. Okay. So this is the clock pulse, clock duration. This is another clock, and like that it goes. So during this clock, I want to transmit the data stream, binary stream as 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So this signal going high is 1, this is 0, this is high, this is 0, 0, like that. This is a normal binary stream. But actually when it is encoded onto the communication channel on copper wire or maybe a twisted pair, then how does it get encoded? How is this signal encoded? In Manchester encoding, what happens is during the middle of the cycle, this is the clock cycle, during the middle of the cycle, if the signal goes down, if the signal, look at this, the signal is going down, then that is 1. And in the middle of the next clock cycle, if the signal is going up, then it is 0. So going down represents 1 and going up in the middle of the cycle is 0. So look at that. Again going down, so 1, going up 0. So going up 0, middle of the cycle going down, this is 1. Going down again, this is 1. During the middle of the cycle going down 1. This is 0 means in the middle of the cycle it is going up. So going up you can say positive voltage plus 5 volt and minus 5 volt. So this is one way. Now quite opposite to that is Manchester 802.3 encoding mechanism. So what happened during the middle of the cycle, early contradicting that, this was going down, right? Look at that. Middle of the cycle it is going down. Middle of the cycle it is going up. Total opposite, going up. This is 1. Going down 0. So 1 going up is this totally opposite. You can check it. Here it is going down, coming down here. It is going up here. Totally opposite. That is called 802.3 encoding. So what I'm trying to say that there must exist some approach of encoding the signal, encoding the data onto the signal. That is called encoding technique. So every communication cable like copper wires, which is generally used for your telephone network, also telephone cable, must have some encoding mechanism with which you can put your data onto the channel, So therefore Manchester proposed by Thomas, this is proposed by IEEE 802.3. Like that, there is one more technique, which is what I say called differential. Let me clear this. Differential Manchester encoding. This is also one of the encoding techniques. So I have told you in earlier occasion, one second. This was the earlier Manchester and Manchester 802.3. Like that, there is one more encoding technique called differential Manchester encoding. So what happens in differential Manchester encoding also I will tell you. So pay attention. So this is a data stream. I have 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 like that. So if it is equivalent in line signal, then how does it represent? In differential Manchester encoding, let me select the pen. The no change in signal is 1, and change in signal during the clock pulse or during the clock cycle is 0. These are formula. Look at this. So here the signal is not changing during the clock. This is one clock cycle. This is another clock cycle. This is another clock cycle. Like that. So during this clock cycle, you see here the signal is not changing. So therefore this is 1. Here, either you can represent in negative voltage or positive voltage. That is no change in either negative or positive. So here what is happening? There is a change in signal. You can see here there is no change. Here it is changing. So change means 0. No change 1. Change 0. Again change 0. Again no change. No change. No change. Change. No change. Either reverse or this. This is called differential Manchester encoding. So what I'm trying to say, there must exist some encoding techniques with which you can transmit your data coming from your sending device onto the communication link like your copper wire, fiber optic, or maybe wireless. Some encoding technique has to be used. Okay, so all these details techniques you might have studied, you are expected to study as part of your analog or digital communication subject, which you might have studied in your second year. All right, so that is about this aspect. Now next we have to see what are the other aspects. So that is the classification of media. Next, media roughly grouped, as I told in my earlier discussion, guided media like copper wire and fiber optics, and unguided media like terrestrial, wireless, satellite, lasers through air, etc. So here is a brief classification with regard to that. Okay, right. Now what is twisted pairs? What is twisted pairs? So let me put it here. It is one of the oldest and still most commonly used transmission media. Generally, your telephone wire also is an example of twisted pair. Okay, a twisted pair, later I will show you diagrams. This is how it will look like. These are the insulators and these are the copper conductors. Okay, twisted pair. Consists of two insulated copper wires, typically about 1 mm in thickness. The wires are twisted just like this, together in a helical form, just like a DNA molecule. Okay, when the wires are twisted, the waves from different twists cancel out so that it can have less radiation. A signal is usually carried as a difference in voltage, which I told, +5 to -5, something like that. This provides better immunity to external noise because the noise tends to affect both wires. The reason for twisting is to minimize the interference of the noise. That is what the point is trying to say. So that is twisted pair. And types of twisted pair, there are a number of types. I don't have to go into that. Broadly, there are two types. One is called UTP and STP. What is UTP? Unshielded twisted pair. There is no shield, right? I'll show you the diagram. Shielded twisted pair means there is a metallic shield provided for it for better noise interference or controlling the noise interference. So either the data can be transmitted in analog form or digital form. And category 1 to there are 6 categories of twisted pairs referred to as UTP, as they consist simply of wires and insulators. Category 7 cables are shielded. This is unshielded. This category 7 is shielded on the individual twisted pairs as shown here. The shielding reduces the susceptibility for to external references and crosstalk with each other. So these are the characteristics of it. Okay, these are the characteristics of it. So look at this diagram. I have taken this diagram from the internet sources. Okay, so this I have taken from internet. One second. Yeah. So one second. I'll just pull up so that I can write it here. So this I have taken from net, so that I should write it from internet. This is the cable. This is a realistic picture. This is UTP, unshielded. What is U? Unshielded. Let me write unshielded twisted pair. So look at that. There is no shielding to this, right? Whereas here STP is shielded twisted pair. There is shield provided to each of them, so that I need not have, or I will have less interference of noise, and crosstalk will not have much impact on the communication. So broadly, the communication will be better with the shielded twisted pair than in comparison to unshielded twisted pair. There is a point. And now secondly, this is a coaxial cable. This is how the diagram will look like for coaxial cable. So coaxial cable means it will have much more protective layers, like here I have braided shield, and then the aluminum foil here, and then the dielectric material, and then the copper. This is an actual conductor. This is actual conductor, right? That is going away. This is actual conductor. And these are the various types of coaxial cables. These are various types of coaxial cables. Okay. And this is nothing but your fiber cable. So even those of you who have fiber connectivity at your end, basically you might have seen this. There is a fiber channel, fiber cable collection of wires enclosed within this shield, and these are the various connectors to which the fiber channel would be connected, right? Connecting to the device. So next, yeah. Now here I am going to show you the devices. Earlier also I told you, but again I am explaining. This is the Wi-Fi or Ethernet card, right, to which you connect this RJ45 connectors here. Now generally this is called the combo. Why combo? Because there are three connectors here. One is RJ45, the other is BNC, I told in my earlier lecture, and this is what is called the PCI connector. Three connectors are there, so you can attach any one of them. But this Wi-Fi card, this Ethernet card, if you take, it has only one type of connector, that is only RJ45. It does not have BNC, it does not have other PCI. Now this is the Wi-Fi card. So either you can connect connect either through Ethernet card or an IC card or through a Wi-Fi card. This is the dongle, Wi-Fi dongle. So either you can use this or this. So these are the various varieties of the components you have. Now these are the components, like this RJ45 jack. Once you crimp the pins into it, it will look something like this. And then these are the BNC connectors. So once you connect the cable, that coaxial cable or maybe the twisted pair, it will look like this. This will get connected. Now this component, this is what I was calling as BNC connector. Sorry. This was calling the BNC connector. So this BNC connector will get clutched into this, will get connected into this part. Okay. And these are the various connectors which are used for fiber channels. So this is for twisted pairs, coaxial cable, all of them, and this is basically for your fiber optic connectors. Okay. Right. Now coming to the various categories of twisted pair that you have, I said you have 7 categories of both STP and UTP. So here I have prepared some table. I don't want to go into much details. You can read at your convenience, but you have to remember generally what is the data rate at which it can transmit the data. It can transmit the data. It is in megabits per second. Mega. The rate is measured in megabits per second. Mega is how much? 10 power 6 bits per second it can transmit. Less than 0.1 megabits, very slow. Okay, generally used for telephone. Which one? Category 1, unshielded twisted pair used in telephone. Category 2, unshielded twisted pair, originally used in telephone lines, and that can support up to 2 megabits per second. These are also called T1 lines. Then this is much more improved Cat2 used in LANs, 10 Mbps. Look at that, the rate is growing. So maximum it can grow is up to, for example, as 200 Mbps. Used for all of them are used for local area networks. All of them. Category 5 to category 2 to category 7 are basically used, or category 3 I would rather say. Category 3 to category 7 basically used for local area networks supporting data rates as mentioned here. So I mean, it's better if you remember these figures. Otherwise also doesn't matter much if you don't remember them. But primarily you should remember, you should have a basic understanding of this. That is what I am trying to say. Next, yeah, look at this. These are the jacks, which I said RJ45 jack. These are female part, the male part. You plug into this female part by first crimping the wires so that the connectivity is the normal procedure that we do, is it not? The jack, RJ45 jack, you plug it into the component present on the network interface card. That's how it looks like. Now coming to coaxial cable. So look at this coaxial cable. Earlier I have shown you physical diagram. Now this is the another diagram where I am trying to show you the various components of the coaxial cable. This is a plastic cover. Then you have the insulators here providing more shield to the conductor. And then this is the outer conductor shield, and then you have the actual main core conductor. This is, one second. Now this is the what you say, the actual core, actual copper, which is the conductor to carry the signals. So this is another common transmission medium. Better shielding, greater bandwidth. So this has much higher bandwidth than in comparison to the twisted pairs. And coaxial, so all this organization I've already told you what are this: outer cover, provide better protection, and so on. All right. So two kinds of coaxial cable are there. What are they? RG59, RG58. And better to remember with what impedance in measured in ohms, and basically used for what purpose. Even your cable TV use coaxial cable, and also thin Ethernet. It can be used for thin Ethernet. And then next is very important communication media, which is generally called the optical fiber channel, optical fiber, where for twisted pair and coaxial cable, the transmission is in the form of signals, electrical signals with some positive voltage and negative voltage representing ones and zeros. But here the data is transmitted or encoded in the form of light pulses, Presence of light is 1, absence of light is 0, something like that. Okay. So in the ongoing race between computing and communication may get win because of fiber optics. So they have very high bandwidths, fiber optics, okay, and they have very low error rate. That is the main advantage of fiber channel. Recently also, when I procured, I was in need of a new bandwidth, so I have taken a fiber optic connection from one of the internet service providers, and the bandwidth of that is tremendous. So those of you who have fiber optics at your home connectivity for internet, you can see what is the kind of bandwidth you have. Okay, so tremendous flexibility and tremendous speed, and the efficiency is also fantastic. Okay, so that is about fiber optic. Then essentially, what does this mean? There are again different modes of fiber, so I'm not venturing, as I said, much details into this because this topic you have already studied in physics, as I mentioned earlier. So just go through all these properties which I have written down in the slides. That will help you. Okay, single light ray incident on the boundary above the critical, how the data is transmitted through wires, and then he talks about gradient index, and in a single step fiber and multi-step fiber, multi-mode fiber. All these aspects I don't want to venture because we have already studied. So have a look or glance through from the slides, and then you can come basically. So here is the characteristics of single mode fiber. Okay, so you can just go through all of them. So unguided, now coming to unguided media, the third category. So first we have seen twisted pair, next we have seen coaxial cable, third we have seen fiber optic, and now coming to the wireless. So what happens in wireless, or what is the basic characteristics of wireless media? We'll see. It is unguided because the data is not traveling in one direction as in the copper wire or twisted pair. Unguided media transport electromagnetic waves without using a physical conductor like copper wire. This type of communication is often referred to as wireless communication. Okay, wireless communication. So if you see the electromagnetic spectrum, this diagram already you might have studied, I don't have to tell you, showing the range of frequencies for different types of wireless media, like radio waves, microwave waves, what is their frequency band, infrared, what is their frequency band, light, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, and all that. So this we have studied in detail in physics. I don't have to talk about detail about this electromagnetic spectrum, categorizing various types of wireless, and their corresponding wavelength also is given, frequency is given. So this also you know very well. I don't have to talk much about that. Same thing, the characteristic is given by comparing with twisted pair and comparing with fiber optics, the frequency bands what are supported by the wireless. So a relative comparison between both wireless and wired. These are the various types of transmissions in the wireless domain. The radio wave, microwave, infrared, visible light portions of the spectrum can all be used for transmitting information. And it is done by modulating the amplitude modulation, frequency, or phase. All these things are familiar to you. That's why I'm not going. It is just a peripheral overview. Okay. So most transmissions use a relatively narrow frequency band to use the spectrum efficiently, as in the case of radio waves, and obtain reasonable data rates by transmitting with enough power. Okay, but three variations are there in some cases where a wider band is used, like I have frequency hop spectrum, spread spectrum, direct sequence spread spectrum, ultra wide band. This also I'm expecting that you had studied in detail, that's why I'm not venturing much. Just in the next slide also I give some characteristics. You need not remember all of them, but few of them you can remember as such, or few of them you can understand. What is the range of Bluetooth, IEEE specification, frequency band, maximum signal rate, and then the normal range, and these are the other attributes. Bandwidth is how much, modulation type, and what type of spreading it uses. So Bluetooth, ultra wideband, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, these are different medias, Wi-Fi wireless medias or wireless mediums which are used, and with their respective characteristics you can just try to remember or try to glance through. Now the most important transmission type is radio in comparison to others like infrared or microwave. Why? Because radio waves are easy to generate, can travel long distances, and can penetrate buildings, unlike infra or unlike microwaves. Okay, so they are widely used for communication both indoors and outdoors. So all our cell phone communication, cellular communication is through radio. Radio waves are also omnidirectional. In all direction it can travel. It means they travel in all direction from the source, so the transmitter and receiver do not have to be carefully aligned physically. Radio waves follow the ground, can be detected for perhaps 1000 kilometers at lower frequencies. So that is the main characteristic of this. The main problem, however, with using these bands for data communication is their low bandwidth. So their bandwidth is relatively less, means the speed will be less. Okay. And what are the differences? So here are the differences between radio waves and microwaves. Frequencies, in terms of frequencies is the difference. We can see the numbers here. Okay, microwaves are at the higher frequency end, and the radio waves are at the lower frequency end. So therefore lesser bandwidth and higher bandwidth. So microwave travel in only one straight line. So if there are towers apart, the earth will get in the way. So therefore you add repeaters to periodically enhance or boost the signals. So unlike that, radio waves at lower frequency, microwaves do not pass through building well, right? So radio waves can pass, but not microwaves. Of course, there are other issues also like multipath fading and all that. This will come later point of time, we'll see. Like that, there is another form of wireless transmission in the form of infrared. So unguided waves are widely used for short range. For this, basically for short range, like remote televisions, VCRs, etc. They make use of this, where you will find the infrared device on your remote, and also the infrared device on the television or VCR, and then they communicate by means of exchanging infrared waves. So that is also one type of communication for which you don't require any government license, but for radio waves you definitely require government license. So for microwaves and infrared certainly you don't require. So these are the review with regard to the various transmission medias that we have seen. So therefore there is not much of significance from your examination perspective, I would say, but as a matter of fact I advise you that make yourself familiar distinction between various types of media. So essentially this is a nutshell, this is a summarized discussion that I wanted to tell you on the media of the physical layer. So guided transmission media, wireless transmission media. What are the three major guided transmission media? Twisted pair, coaxial cable, fiber optics. So my advice to everybody as part of your examination is concerned, make some important notes on this. Maybe you can refer your physics notes which you have done to highlight the differences between twisted pair, coaxial cable and fiber optics. In terms of what? In terms of their reliability, in terms of their noise factor, in terms of the speed, in terms of the encoding techniques which I talked about, which encoding techniques generally they use. And for wireless transmission, again you can talk about three things which I discussed. One is infra, the other is micro, the other is last one radio. Last one is radio communication. All right. So make a detailed note on this, and that should be sufficient enough. At most they may ask you either some 2-mark question, differentiate between twisted pair and coaxial cable. Write a note on fiber optics. What are the different approaches of wireless transmission for communication networks? 5-mark questions. So either you can expect 2-mark or 5-mark or even 3-mark question on this. So it's a theoretical stuff. Prepare some good notes by referring to the site and also from the textbook, and that should be more than sufficient enough for the coverage of this particular chapter. All right. Okay.